Good afternoon again. On another glorious day in a glorious place in my beloved woods. First of all, I'm just going to stand still, feeling my feet on the ground and just being aware of what's around me. There's a lovely sound of wind in the trees, a few bird calls, and down in the valley the sound of sheep and lambs. And the marvellous thing that holding this presence, I can repeat questions without disturbing it. So the questions arise, and someone sent in a question on the comments. If I can find beauty in a stick, an ordinary little stick lying on the ground, can I find it in a pencil? It's a brilliant question, isn't it? Oh dear. How on earth do I answer that? Well, there's an old saying, isn't there? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And if I come back to this presence, well, what is not beautiful? Someone once wrote in my autograph book when I was a schoolboy in my first school, beauty is God's handwriting on the walls of life. Well, I don't deny that to find beauty in a place like this is one thing. To find it on the supermarket shelf maybe, or in a confused office setting, a half-chewed pencil. Well, it may not be quite so obvious. But if one is in this presence, which undoubtedly is everywhere, both in natural situations and the most unnatural, well, it's all contained, isn't it? There's simply no corruption or aberration of the natural order that is not contained within this greater containment, really, in which all things are acceptable and there is no judgment. Yes, perhaps that's the point I should make, is that judgment always arises from duality, from a dual point of view. And when we connect with a presence which is undivided, one, then how can the world be divided into this or that, beautiful or not beautiful? It's all beautiful, isn't it? Because it's all really arising from God, the primal source of it all. And then in its passage from that, of course it gets divided into corrupt and incorrupt. And this is what causes so much confusion, because man himself, having fallen away from his divine estate and looking at life with his divided eye, his corrupted eye, then corrupts what is seen. He then projects this veneer of corruption on the world. And this is why the world, nature, is full of destruction, of why nature dies, because it's really a projection of the man's own disease, the human disease, which is, in the word, sin. It's because we've separated in the first place from our divine origin. And so pencils and computers and biros and all the productions of man's world, which may seem sort of contrary in a sense to the natural order of things, they're really a variation within the whole. And the broader your appreciation of the oneness, then nothing is offensive. Even coronavirus is seen as but an aspect of the divine dispensation, of the wisdom and mercy of God. Because, of course, when we stray from the kingdom of God and become diseased, in the sense that we lose the comfort and ease of being in our natural place, then, of course, things happen. We get the symptoms of disease. So it's all lawful. It's all part of the perfect providence. You can't say that this is God's and that's not God's. It's part of. Think of it like a child, how a father or mother might look at the mess a child makes of its nursery. It's still within the mother's love, isn't it? The mother still lives the child, even though the toys are thrown all over the place. That's how it is. So all man's unnaturalness, the ugliness man produces in the cities and all that, is all contained within the love of God. And when your heart is full of love, then there is beauty in everything. So the answer is, that's how it's done. Again, in the Bible, to the pure, all things are pure. That's right. And there is nothing that is in this world that is not beautiful to a heart and mind that's full of God. God bless you, dears. Until tomorrow.